Buzz buzz. What's the buzz? The third generation of Pokemon was filled with rampant sexism. Maybe that's why it was so good. But is it really sexism if it's based on scientific fact? Yeah, welcome to the internet. Alright, you've seen the thumbnail. You know which Pokemon this video is about, but honestly, they empowered the heck out of Illumise. Like, you know, with the Gen 4 Pokemon, Mothim and Wormadam? Why does the male get to fly around and do stuff, but the female just has to sit there and be pretty with her own standard of beauty? Huh? Well, because they are bagworms, and that is literally what they do. The males get wings so that they can more easily find the females who stay put so that they can breed with them, because that is all they're good for. I see how it is. Well, yeah, I'm talking about the male here. In many species, that's all they're good for. They are just flying or swimming Pinors. So what's the big deal with Volbeat and Illumise now? Well, Game Freak apparently showed favoritism with the male one, Volbeat, because it gets 2 signature moves. 2! How many does Illumise get? The lady one? 0. I see how it is, Game Freak. But really, what is the deal here? Volbeat learns Tail Glow and Signal Beam, both signature moves to it. Illumise, though, has nothing. Unless you count Pokemon Go, in which Illumise can also learn Signal Beam. Leave it to Western developers to change the original Japanese vision. But okay, here we go. Here are the roles that most species of fireflies play during the breeding season. The fireflies you see flying around are all males. They are signaling their lights in search of females to breed with. Most female fireflies have much, much dimmer signals, and they come from smaller spots on them too. And on top of this, they don't even have wings. It's just like Mothim and Wormadam, the bagworms. Males fly to find the females who don't. Similarly, Illumise's Pokédex entry states that it attracts Volbeat using a sweet fragrance, which is exactly what the female fireflies do. They send out loads of pheromones when they see male fireflies flash their lights as a signal to help the males pinpoint her location. And considering this connection to reality, it's no wonder that Volbeat knows 2 signature moves. Tail Glow is literally it glowing its tail bright to raise its special attack, and not only are male fireflies brighter with their butts, but they are also more aggressive too. And this also falls in line with their secondary design inspiration. Grease! No, not the bacon fat. Like the globally critically acclaimed hit movie, Grease. Volbeat is the rough and tough greaser, and Illumise is the innocent 1950s waitress that might just fall for a bad boy like Illumise. Volbeat's got that cool, confident strut that greasers had, popping up their collars on their black leather jackets with lighter undershirts underneath it, and slicking back their hair or antenna back, and its collar resembles the collars worn by Bosozoku, which are boisterous Japanese bikers inspired by American greasers. Getting all tough and aggressive about protecting your girl is a big part of stereotypical greasers, as well as falling for an otherwise innocent girl, just working at the malt shop or the diner car hop place. It's a common place where these folks would meet. This bad boy, rough and tough aggressiveness may also play a part in why it knows these moves while Illumise doesn't. I mean, Signal Beam isn't even Volbeat's signature move anymore, as of the very next games. They gave it to loads of other non-bug Pokemon. But Illumise still doesn't know it. She's just not that kind of girl. But what is that kind of girl beyond just a female firefly? Well, Illumise has a nice, happy, innocent smile and a supposed bob cut hairstyle, popularized in the 1920s but remained popular for several decades. But the 1920s are worth mentioning, as many say that Illumise is based on a flapper, and by many, I mean Bulbapedia. I've seen it around on Twitter too, but Bulbapedia. Bulbapedia has been wrong before, and I'm gonna prove it wrong again. But I don't mean like total debunkitude or anything, so it could still be a part of it, but let's look into the common thing that people say she's based on before looking into the 1950s again. Flappers were young women in the 1920s who wore, at the time, taboo outfits and cut their hair short. They even had the audacity to listen to black music, like jazz and swing. It was another time. In the eyes of high society, they were basically punks. The classiest punks around. Illumise could be seen as wearing a sort of girdle and a Peter Pan collar, which is a valid interpretation. Peter Pan collars were popular in the 1920s, especially for wedding dresses and the outfits of small children. Not really flappers, but okay. But the girdle. Flappers wore those, but if this were a girdle, it would either be an incredibly low-cut one, or it's upside down. Volbepedia also says it's wearing a leotard, and using that as evidence of it being a flapper, but leotards were more so worn by showgirls, and much later than that. Some modern interpretations of flappers put them in leotards, but it's not really accurate. So, I don't really see the flapper connection. Come on. Why is Volbepedia allowed to be wrong? It's a wiki. That's why it's allowed to be wrong. But like, come on. Volbepedia, you're what PokeTubers read for views. You gotta be accurate. And what does a flapper have to do with a greaser anyway? The heck? Meanwhile, if you look at the 1950s again, this was the decade that most women in America would start curling their hair. These were the most popular hairstyles at the time. A short curl, or the curly bob cut. So, exactly what Illumise has. Now look at her outfit. It is your stereotypical 1950s waitress outfit. I mean, look at these. These are the waitress outfits from the movie Grease. That's the exact same collar. And then looking to other waitress outfits from the same time period, they all have these big collars. And what else do they have? Little poofy shoulders. And then this girdle works out much better as the short aprons that those 50s diner waitress outfits had. Huh? Plus, if you've yet to connect it already, that would make Illumise and Volbeat make perfect sense as a pair. They are inspired from a real-world dynamic between stereotypical 1950s waitresses and their bad boy crushes, the greasers. That is so much better. I can't even list how many phobics that is. So, what are your thoughts on Volbeat and Illumise? Give me engagement below, and also tell me what other forgotten Pokemon I should talk about. I'm sure there are hundreds, but I can't remember.